What if I told you that love's pain isn't a sign of something gone wrong, but exactly what's meant to happen? The ache in your heart, the overwhelming emotions, the fear of loss. We've been taught these are problems to fix, but Carl Jung saw something entirely different. He believed love's pain wasn't just inevitable, it was essential for our growth. This isn't just another video about heartbreak or ways to avoid getting hurt in relationship. It's about understanding a truth that most people never realize, that the pain of love is actually your gateway to becoming who you're meant to be. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why love hurts, but how this pain is actually the doorway to your deepest transformation. You'll discover why you keep attracting the same types of painful relationships, why even good relationships sometimes hurt more than bad ones, and most importantly, how to use this pain to transform your life instead of being crushed by it. Think about the last time you felt heartbreak, that crushing feeling in your chest, the endless thoughts spinning in your mind, the way everything reminded you of them. Jung would say this isn't just your personal pain. You're actually experiencing something ancient and universal. He called these deep patterns archetypes, and they live in what he named the collective unconscious, like a shared human database of experiences that we all tap into when we fall in love. Here's what's fascinating. Jung discovered that we're actually programmed to be attracted to people who will hurt us in very specific ways, not because we're broken or have bad luck in love, but because these people carry pieces of ourselves that we've lost or never developed. It's like your unconscious mind has a shopping list of growth opportunities, and it keeps attracting people who will push those exact buttons. Take Sarah's story, a client Jung once worked with. She kept attracting emotionally unavailable partners who would eventually abandon her. But Jung helped her see something incredible. Each of these partners was mirroring her own emotional unavailability to herself. The pain wasn't just pain. It was a message showing her where she needed to grow. This is where the wounded healer archetype comes in, one of Jung's most powerful discoveries. He found that our deepest wounds become our greatest gifts, but only if we're willing to face them. That's why the people who hurt us most are often the ones who trigger our oldest wounds, the ones we got from our first experiences of love with our parents or caregivers. But here's the twist. The collective unconscious doesn't just carry our pain, it also holds the blueprint for our healing. When you're in the depths of heartbreak, you're not just feeling your own pain, you're connecting to every human who has ever loved and lost, every story of heartbreak and healing that's ever been lived. This is why love's pain feels so much bigger than just losing one person, because it is bigger. You're experiencing an archetypal process of death and rebirth that humans have gone through for thousands of years. Understanding this changes everything. That person who broke your heart, they're not just a random person who hurt you, they're a messenger from your unconscious, showing you exactly what you need to heal. The pain isn't punishment, it's a pathway. Jung found that when we understand this, we can start using our relationship pain as a map to our own healing, instead of seeing it as something that's happening to. The real question isn't, why does love hurt? The real question is, what is this pain trying to teach me? Because according to Jung, every heartbreak is actually a heart opening, if we know how to read the signs. The most fascinating part of Jung's work is his discovery of the anima and animus, the hidden male and female parts that live inside each of us. Here's what's wild. When you fall in love, you're not just falling for the person in front of you. You're falling in love with parts of yourself that you've buried or never knew existed. That's why the initial stages of love feel so magical. You're seeing your own hidden potential reflected back at you. But this is also exactly why love starts to hurt. Think about your last relation. Remember that moment when your perfect partner started showing their flaws? Jung would say you're not just seeing their real self. You're watching your own projections fall apart. It's like you've been watching a movie, and suddenly the screen crashes down, showing you the bare wall behind it. Here's what nobody tells you about attraction. We're drawn to people who carry both our greatest potential and our deepest wounds. Jung found that we literally project our inner male or female aspects onto our partner. If you're a woman who keeps attracting emotionally distant men, you might be dealing with your own disconnected inner masculine. If you're a man who keeps finding partners who try to control you, you might be fighting with your own inner feminine's need for control. The pain comes from a very specific place, the gap between who we imagine our partner to be and who they really are. But here's the twist. This gap isn't a mistake. It's actually the whole point. Jung discovered that relationships are meant to show us these projections so we can take them back and own these parts of ourselves. Think about the patterns in your love life. Do you keep attracting partners who eventually betray you? Who can't commit? Who try to change you? These aren't coincidences. Your shadow, all the parts of yourself you've rejected or don't want to see, is actually choosing these partners to show you what you need to heal. This is why the same relationship problems keep showing up with different people. Maybe you've said, "Why do I always end up with someone who doesn't appreciate me?" Jung would say it's because you haven't fully learned to appreciate yourself. The pain you feel isn't just about them. It's your inner feminine or masculine trying to get your attention. The real kicker? The more you run from these patterns, the stronger they get. That's why trying to avoid getting hurt in love never works. The shadow doesn't want to be avoided. It wants to be seen. Every painful relationship is actually an invitation to look at the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. But here's the hope in all this. Once you understand these dynamics, you can start using them for transformation instead of staying stuck in them. When you feel that familiar pain of projection falling apart, instead of blaming your partner or yourself, you can ask, what part of me am I seeing here? What's trying to be healed? This understanding changes everything about how we experience love's pain. It's not just random emotional chaos, it's actually a very precise process of psychological growth trying to happen. Every painful relationship isn't just a lesson, it's part of what Jung called individuation, your journey to becoming your complete self. And here's the part that will change how you see every heartbreak. The worse the pain, the bigger the transformation that's trying to happen. It's like emotional alchemy, turning the raw pain of love into pure gold of self-knowledge. Think about your deepest heartbreak, the one that felt like it would break you completely. Jung found something incredible. These moments of complete breakdown are actually moments of potential breakthrough. When love cracks you open, it's not just destroying something, it's creating space for a new version of you to emerge. Here's what makes this so powerful. Every time you face the pain instead of running from it, you're actually completing an ancient pattern of transformation. Jung saw this in ancient stories and myths. The hero or heroine always has to go through a death of some kind before they can be reborn. Your heartbreak is your own personal version of this journey. But here's the key that most people miss. The pain isn't the problem. Resistance to the pain is. When you're in the middle of relationship pain, your first instinct is probably to try to stop it, fix it, or numb it. But Jung discovered that this actually freezes the transformation process. It's like trying to stop a butterfly halfway through emerging from its cocoon. You'll end up with neither caterpillar nor butterfly. Think of it like this. Each painful relationship is actually a very specific medicine for your soul. The partner who triggered your abandonment fears, they're helping you find unshakable self-love. The one who betrayed your trust, they're teaching you to trust your own inner guidance first. The relationship that made you feel invisible, it's showing you where you've been invisible yourself. Jung found that love's pain follows a precise pattern. First, it breaks down your old identity, all your ideas about who you are and what love should be. This feels like death because, in a way, it is. Your old self has to die for your new self to emerge. This is why running back to an ex or quickly starting a new relationship rarely works. You're interrupting your own rebirth process. The most fascinating part is how this transformation shows up in your dreams and everyday life. During these periods of love-induced crisis, pay attention to your dreams. Jung noticed they often contain symbols of death and rebirth, water, fire, journeys through dark places. These aren't just random images. They're your psyche's way of showing you the transformation that's happening. But her, the most powerful truth, the pain isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. Every tear you cry is washing away an old pattern. Every night you spend alone is creating space for a new way of being. Every moment of missing someone is actually your soul calling parts of yourself back home. Saint transformative truth about love's pain isn't just understanding it, it's learning to work with it rather than against it. Jung discovered that accepting the dual nature of love, its ability to both heal and hurt, is the key to finding real wholeness. And here's what's fascinating. Once you accept that love will hurt, it actually starts hurting differently. Think about how much energy you've spent trying to avoid getting hurt in love, setting up walls, creating rules, trying to find the perfect person who won't hurt you. Jung found that this doesn't protect you. It just keeps you from experiencing love's transformative power. It's like trying to feel the warmth of a fire while wearing a fireproof suit. Here's what makes this understanding so powerful. The pain you feel in love isn't random emotional chaos. It's actually incredibly precise. That specific way your heart breaks, it's breaking exactly where it needs to break, to let in more light. That unbearable ache of missing someone, it's actually creating space in your heart that you'll need for your own growth. Jung saw something in his patients that changed everything. The people who suffered most in love weren't the ones who experienced the most pain. They were the ones who fought hardest against it. It's like quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. But when you learn to float with it, something miraculous, the pain becomes a gateway instead of a prison. The hidden gift in heartbreak is that it breaks you open to yourself. That person who left, they're helping you find the parts of yourself you abandoned long ago. That relationship that ended, it's making space for a deeper relationship with yourself. The rejection that feels so personal, it's actually pushing you toward radical self-acceptance. This is why Jung believed that love's pain, when fully embraced, leads to what he called wholeness. Not perfection, wholeness. The difference is crucial. Perfection is trying to eliminate all pain. Wholeness is having the capacity to hold both love's joy and its sorrow, its ecstasy and its agony, its beginnings and its endings. Remember, every great love story includes pain, not because something's gone wrong, but because that's how love shapes us, grows us, transforms us into who we're meant to become. The pain you're feeling right now isn't the end of your love story. It's just the end of a chapter. And like any good book, the most powerful transformations often happen in the darkest chapters. So next time love hurts, remember, you're not just experiencing pain, you're experiencing transformation. You're not just losing love, you're being shaped by it. And maybe, just maybe, the heart that breaks open can contain more love than the one that never breaks at all. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, leave a comment sharing your experience with love's transformative power. Don't forget to like and subscribe to join us on this journey of understanding and growth. I'll see you in the next video.